The first thing I think when I hear the name Sybyl Atwood is boundless energy, and optimism is another word that comes to mind. I would say that she's also known for her belief in the underdog, people that are marginalized in society, people who are poor, maybe the LGBT community, religious faiths that are not the predominant faith in the United States. She was always looking for ways to help those people, and so I think of her as a progressive person. I think of her as a champion for social justice, a champion for economic justice. This is a woman who came of age in the 1930s and 40s in the American South, which at that time was still very segregated by law and by custom for African Americans. And she was a champion of their rights and moved north to Chicago and then on to Flint. And she was really looking to help the underdog. So I think of her boundless energy even when she was ill with cancer. She was using her voice and her energy to make things better in the community. So I think of someone who is just really energetic and always looking to make the world a better place, especially here in Flint.
When I hear the name Sybyl Atwood, I think of compassion with leadership. I really think that she had this quality about her that you just couldn't stop listening and you couldn't respond to what she was saying. She was very influential in my life.
Greatness. Sybyl is and was this incredible person that just exuded dynamic personality. She was easy to talk to, great to listen to, and when I hear her name, that's where I kind of go to.
The Sybyl Atwood that I know worked for Resource Genesee as a volunteer coordinator. She was really a connector of people. She had no problem telling you what she thought, and you were going to listen to her. So she was really powerful, and she made Resource Genesee a force of good for this community.
Sybyl was a gal who did a lot of work before she came to Flint, but when she did, she started working at some nonprofit organizations and became the person I remember her as, who worked in the service industry for over 40 years and provided things for people who had trouble providing for themselves. And that doesn't mean that they couldn't afford it. It might mean that they didn't know where to get it. It might mean that they struggled just trying to connect themselves to a resource. And Sybyl became that connector. And one of the things that she would do is bring out the best in you. And when she would do that, it wouldn't be easy. Quite often you might find yourself getting mad at her because of what she was asking. But the thing about it is, you couldn't be mad at her. You could only be mad at yourself because she wouldn't ask you to do what she knew you couldn't do. So you would figure that out and accomplish the task and know that Sybyl was right all along. And that's a personality trait that I've rarely found in people. And with Sybyl, it was a gift and it was a great attribute to her personality.
So I started work with Sybyl in February of the year 2000. I was a 28-year-old new executive director of Resource Genesee, and Sybyl had been around for 40 years doing her work here in Flint. I was new to Flint, or relatively new to Flint. She walked into my office that morning and said, "Hello, new boss. What are we going to do together? How are we going to change this community?" So when I say that she had a ton of energy and enthusiasm, and she was sort of unstoppable, this unstoppable force of nature, that was my first example and my first exposure to that with her. Literally her walking into my office and saying, "Let's roll up our sleeves and do good work for Flint." And from there, for 7 years, she and I worked together on many, many different projects for the community. You know, from getting native plants planted in gardens, community gardens around Flint, you know, where there's vacant land, to try to spruce it up and bring it back, to poverty, anti-poverty initiatives where we were trying to get people training so that they could move into the workforce and jobs. You know, Flint is one of the poorest cities in this state, still is even today in 2018, but it was poor then, and those are the issues that we worked on, trying to help people get what they needed.
I first met Sybyl Atwood when I began working with a group for Mott Community College's Community Outreach Partnership Grant. She had the idea of putting native plants in the city for a beautification effort through that grant. And she sort of helped the group that was floundering to move forward in a positive direction, focusing on solutions and, you know, not looking behind, but looking forward to making the project successful. And for me, that was a huge example of true leadership, you know, looking at what can be done, not what went wrong necessarily, because you can't really fix that and go backwards. You only have what you can do going forward. So she was able to be that vision for the group.
Sybyl was my neighbor, and I loved being next to her and living next door to her. She made living in Carriagetown a true joy. She was wonderful to share dinner with and have dinner parties with, and she went way outside of the box in terms of creating friendships and long-lasting relationships. And I was blessed and happy to be part of her inner network.
She would come to work, and I worked with her for 7 years. She would come to work, and there were days where the chemotherapy and the cancer treatment was really weighing on her, but she would literally be at her phone and at her desk answering calls, connecting people with resources, bringing people together in the community, but then she would take a rest and lay on a cot in the office so that she could get her energy back, and then she would be back on the phones.
So my favorite memory of Sybyl was when she came to my house in the final years of her life. And she was asked a question by a reporter for wisdom, or a statement of wisdom. And she thought a couple seconds, and she said, "Remain insatiably curious." And I replay that in my mind several times because it's an incredible gift that she gave me. To watch her pass was incredible because I thought I knew a lot about living, and she taught me a lot about dying. And it's very hard for someone to do that. So one of my favorite memories is being with her in that transitional phase.
What would I like to say to Sybyl? I would say that a lot of things, you know, of course, that we miss her, and I miss her personally, but that we most miss her example for this community. And, you know, that leads into why we created the Sybyl Award in the first place. You know, all of us are going to pass at some point, right? But we hope that we leave some kind of positive legacy. Sybyl would never in a million years want an award named after her. She would have been very much against the idea of us naming something after her and, you know, announcing the Sybyl Award every year. But I can go against her wishes, knowing that what we are doing is elevating others in her name, and that it's really not so much about Sybyl anymore. It's about people who exemplify her spirit, her determination, her energy around helping this community. So I would say to her, thanks for setting an example. You know, she was a woman who was in her 70s when she passed away, but she had started out in the rural South. She was a progressive person, believed in civil rights and, you know, bringing people along who'd been kept out of the mainstream. So she came of age at a time where that was not easy. It's easier today in 2018 to be a progressive person, but she came alive in an era when it was not so easy. So I would also thank her for doing that when it wasn't an easy thing to do.
I'd like to say to Sybyl, I think you'd be very happy with the way things have happened after your passing. I think that it's an honor, and always has been, to know you and to carry on, as you would say, in your fashion.
Sybyl, thank you for your leadership, your compassion, for showing Flint a way forward, helping each other, realizing that when there's a criminal element, we are of it. We are not separate from it. When there's someone who's hungry and hurting, we should be feeling compassion and helping in those situations. And you showed us the way. Your leadership showed us the way, and thank you. Congratulations, you are an awesome lady. Your life mattered. To the honorees of the Sybyl Award, the nominees and the winners, you are all fantastic people. You are all being celebrated for the work that exemplifies the characteristics that Sybyl portrayed, and you're doing it your way. You may not have even known Sybyl, and we know, and we recognize that you are a community change agent. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for helping Flint and Genesee County.
I would say to the nominees and the winners of the Sybyl Award, congratulations for carrying on in Sybyl's legacy. What we know is that there are literally hundreds and probably thousands of people that on a daily basis in this community do amazing things. So congratulations to all those folks. And you know, you are filling big shoes when we say that you're worthy of being nominated for the Sybyl Award and for being a recipient of it.
What I would like to say to the winners of the award is that congratulations, of course, and thank you so much for doing what you do. And to even be nominated is wonderful. You've reached a pinnacle that many people in the community strive for. To win is 10 times better.
Welcome everyone to this special evening where we celebrate the legacy of Sybyl and all of the amazing nominees that have just made such a positive impact in our communities that we serve. Sybyl was a special lady to Elga Credit Union, as she had her accounts here and often came into my office to let me know how we needed to help with this, that, or the other thing, and you couldn't say no to Sybyl. It has been just a blessing that the Hurley Foundation has carried this award on. We are so grateful for that. We're so grateful for Mott College and Dale picking up and making sure that it continued. It's so important that we recognize the good works that people do out of the goodness out of their hearts and for everything in the right reasons to help those that need help, whether it's someone in need or someone that just has a big project that they need to be connected to. It's great to be a part of a community that works that way. I am just delighted to be here tonight, and I hope that you enjoy your evening as we hear about all the good works of the people that are nominated tonight. I reflected on this evening a year ago, and it was the last in-person special event that I attended, and I'm sure many others the same. We've had a difficult year, one that we have never experienced before, one that we have been asked to stay away from other people and do things in different ways. And there's a lot of good that's come out of it. And I'm just so happy that we're able to carry on through a virtual situation as we do tonight. I do look forward to getting back with everybody in person again. I think it would be really nice if we just stopped and thought for a minute and paid tribute to all the lives that were lost this past year due to COVID and other reasons. So if we could just take a moment of silence to recognize and to thank all of those people that made an impact in our lives that are no longer with us. They may be gone in person, but their memories live on forever. Thank you again for attending tonight. I look forward to listening to all the stories of all of these wonderful nominees. Thank you, Jordan, for putting together the program with the other committee members. It has been a lot of work. You've done a fantastic job, committee. Take it away.
Thank you, Karen. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this virtual format to honor Sybyl. Firstly, I'd like to thank our partners and friends at Mott Community College, specifically Brian, Dale, and Chris, who have made this event happen tonight. Without them, there would be no show. I also want to take a moment to thank our Sybyl Award committee members for all of their time and talent dedicated to this event to honor their friend Sybyl. I'd like to acknowledge and honor one of our committee members we tragically lost in a car accident last year. I feel confident in saying that just about everyone in today's audience knew or was touched by Elisa Stewart's commitment to the health and wellness of our community. It's a great loss to our organization, the community, and of course to her family and friends. As a mother of two with a heart the size of Texas, it is a loss we feel deeply. In Elisa's true nature of giving, her donated organs saved the lives of 4 people. Truly embodying Sybyl's legacy of giving to others even when there's nothing left to give. I speak to you today in honor of maintaining this treasured event, a commitment the Hurley Foundation is dedicated to. I have the great privilege of overseeing the Hurley Volunteer Corps and our volunteer program, and it is the service of our volunteers that inspires me daily. This community has so much to give. And I hope tonight that you can still feel the magic through your computer screen that I feel every time I attend the Sybyl Awards. And I hope, like myself, you are inspired by the nominees that we will hear about tonight. Before we introduce them to you and their submissions from the people who took the time to nominate them, I would like to go through our past recipients and nominees and honor them as well. Brian, roll that film. Thanks, Brian. Now for the 2020/2021, Better Late Than Never nominees. We'll start with Adrienne Walker. Director of Government Affairs and Community Relations, Flint and Genesee Chamber of Commerce. Adrienne Walker has exemplified leadership and the standard of excellence from Capitol Hill to Flint, Michigan. He got his start by working on the Debbie Stabenow administration within the District of Columbia. His sheer will and commitment trans through his work and consistency by getting up at 4:30 every day. When you talk about someone that possesses the ability to rise the occasion, Adrienne Walker is the poster child of zestfulness and commitment. He is currently an active board member of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Flint, the Genesee County Education Foundation, the Crim Fitness Foundation, the Neighborhood Engagement Hub, and the United Way of Genesee County, just to name a few. Since serving on these boards, he has been able to encourage others to further their education. Adrienne is a strong believer in higher education, and some of his favorite subjects growing up were civics, history, and importantly, African American history, all of which are deeply rooted within Adrienne's life. One of Adrienne's strong beliefs is, to whom much is given, much is required. He hopes to be an example for young men within the community and be able to uplift them to achieve their dreams. One of the key attributes of a true leader, in my opinion, is patience. Adrienne's ability to have patience with not only his professional life, but his personal affairs speaks volumes. Patience allows a true leader to be able to make executive decisions and execute. Execution is Adrienne's #1 attribute, and many of his successes in his life are due to his consistent ability to do so. Adrienne has worked diligently and collectively with people on a national and local level. Adrienne Walker.
Andrea Bergstrom is the Communications Project Coordinator for the Ruth Mott Foundation. Andrea has worked for the Ruth Mott Foundation for over 15 years. She assists organizations including Burston Fieldhouse, Eastside Village, the Latinx Center, the Sylvester Broom Empowerment Village, and others in creating newsletters, digital and web content, short video clips, maps, and other helpful communication tools so that they can reach their clients, donors, and members of the community. Andrea, using her own personal social media, continues to promote small businesses, startups, and Black-owned businesses as a means to increase customer interest and profit. She has single-handedly created business opportunities for startup entrepreneurs by using her social media presence to help them tell their story. The owner of the Flint Farmers Market Hot Cocoa Bomb increased traffic and profits phenomenally after Andrea's clever video post went viral. She has helped write and procure grants for restaurants to help them winterize so they could stay open this winter despite the numerous COVID-19 restrictions and challenges. On top of all that, Andrea is fun. She is kind-hearted and talented, always rooting for and helping the underdog, but she does it in a way that makes people feel welcomed, at ease, and lets them know they matter. She sees everyone as equal and doesn't place priority on any one individual or need, treating all causes as equally important. She believes in fairness and isn't afraid to say something unpopular if she knows it's the right thing to do to protect or promote a cause or a fellow human being. Andrea Bergstrom.
Anne-Marie Van Dyne, Chief Development and Marketing Office, FIM. Anne-Marie Van Dyne joined the team at FIM just over a year ago, and in that short time, she has done so much to improve the organization by enacting new programs. For instance, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, she came up with the idea of Music Around the Town pop-up concerts, which entailed ensembles of 3 to 5 Flint Symphony Orchestra members to perform outdoor concerts for frontline workers at Hurley, McLaren, Regency Nursing Home, Shelter of Flint, and Carriage Town Ministries, just to name a few. This was a very successful program that people thoroughly enjoyed, and we plan to continue for many years to come, and it was all thanks to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie is a great mentor who is extremely well connected in the city of Flint. She has worked for different organizations in the city over the years, and she believes in the city and does everything that she can to help cultivate new and exciting opportunities for everyone in Flint and the surrounding area. Anne-Marie is a wonderful person to have as a boss. She is very much about staying focused and getting things done, but she is also approachable and there is to assist you in what is needed to be done. Anne-Marie is the type of person that is honest and transparent always. Anne-Marie is committed to making sure that all of the Flint community has access and is able to enjoy all that FIM has to offer. She is always looking to expand on being inclusive and welcoming. Anne-Marie Van Dyne.
Kathleen Miller is the Associate Professor of Accounting at U of M Flint. Kathy has been an advocate for low-income families throughout our county, providing the much-needed service of free tax preparation since 1999. Oftentimes, the cost of paying a tax service is much more than the financial return for a low-income family. This cost versus benefit prevents taxes from being filed and the loss of millions of dollars being returned to the community. Identifying this unique gap in services, Kathy took action in the late 1990s, helping families file accurate returns at no cost. Ever the educator, Kathy saw this tax preparation assistance as a way to bring a more enriching and service learning educational experience to her University of Michigan Flint accounting students. When she joined the Genesee County Tax Coalition in 2005, she brought with her the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance course she had created, teaching students how to complete tax returns and then having them volunteer their time on Saturdays to help local residents. Students who volunteer with Kathy to do taxes for low-income individuals now earn 3 credits toward their CPA requirement. Kathy found a way to bring volunteers, taxes, and college credits together. Kathy and her students have been invaluable to our community. Since 2013, Kathy has trained 165 student volunteers. Together, they have filed more than 6,400 federal and state returns, resulting in over $3 million in refunds for our Genesee County residents. In her professional and personal life, Kathy has found the right formula of matching volunteers with taxes so that she and her students can help our low-income residents obtain the highest refunds they are eligible to receive. With an average cost of $200 per return, she has saved our most vulnerable residents over $1 million in preparation fees. The tax sites Kathy oversees are well known in our community. Drive by her sites on any tax Saturday, and even before the doors are open, you will see a line of people waiting to get in. Such is the service, expertise, and professionalism Kathy is known for in the community. Year after year, the same taxpayers return, knowing they will have their taxes completed correctly and in a timely manner by Kathy and her student volunteers. Kathy is a true inspiration, and we are blessed to have her in our community. Kathleen Miller.
Danielle Nadine Brown, Partnership Director for the Flint and Genesee Literacy Network. Born and raised in Flint, Michigan, her greatest interest was supporting parents as empowered leaders of their family. Her professional career predominantly has been in the field of human services in positions that serve families who have troubled teens, incarcerated parents, workforce barriers, health disparities, and overall literacy barriers. However, Danielle's true passion was for literacy. I want the community to know that it is the beginning and not an end. Danielle said about the FGLN's tutor training program. Many adults just need additional support. Danielle worked tirelessly to establish two-generation approaches to literacy in Flint. Two-generation approaches provide opportunities to address the needs of vulnerable children and the adults in their lives together, ensuring an intergenerational cycle of success. Volunteerism is the only way was instilled in Danielle as a young child, and so she could often be seen volunteering around the city. Danielle's commitment to service could be seen through her endless hours of hands-on community involvement, as well as the numerous leadership positions within local and regional community service organizations. She made an impact wherever she went. Danielle had a deep belief that every individual deserved a fair chance at a good quality of life. She was always connecting families to services that they needed or programs to help ease their situation with a long-term goal of lifting them out of poverty. She had a never-ending willingness to help. If you scroll through her recent Facebook posts, nearly everyone included an uplifting message of encouragement or information about a job or the next food drive. The compassion she had for children was evidenced not only in her community service, but also by literally taking in and raising many children, including nieces, nephews, godchildren, and others. Described as mothering her community, she didn't have any children of her own, but Danielle probably took care of nearly 1 million kids throughout her 49 years of life in Flint. Danielle was a surrogate mother to many and a devoted caregiver to her niece, Mackenzie. She was a funtie, the fun aunt, like a mom, but way cooler. Danielle was full of life and never met a challenge that she did not think she could conquer. She enjoyed traveling, cooking, and singing. She had a great voice. Danielle had an infectious smile and a beautiful personality. Even though Danielle is gone physically, she challenges all of us to remember how she lived without limits and heart for serving others. We appreciate Danielle's tireless commitment to the Flint community and beyond. Danielle Nadine Brown.
Joseph Ufinger, retired educator and coach. If you know Joe, you know he loves life. His accomplishments are many. After earning a bachelor's degree at Purdue, he returned to his alma mater, Flint Central, as a social studies teacher and football coach. He taught and coached at Central for 39 years. Joe is the epitome of spirited leadership and zestful commitment. As one of the winningest coaches in Genesee County, he inspired his teams to get the job done, try hard, and do their best. He has brought his zest for life, excellence, service, and teamwork to the many nonprofits that he has served over the years. The honors he has earned, the loyalty he continues to have from his teammates, the teams that played for him, and his friends, new and old, are a testimony to his leadership and his willingness to be an active and engaged member of this community. Joe started on the path of service helping his mom, a social worker with her many professional and volunteer activities, including running a food pantry out of their basement for several years. Joe has served on several nonprofit boards, but here we will focus on the work he has done for the Education Foundation for the Flint Community Schools. Joe has been on the board for several years and has served as chair for 3 years. The mission of the EFFCS is to improve and enrich the lives of Flint students. With Joe's leadership, the organization has raised funds and awareness of the needs of Flint Community School students. Through the organization's Excellence in Education Awards, Joe has helped ensure that the most effective educators in the Flint Community Schools are recognized, whether it's a classroom teacher, a food service worker, a security guard, or a tutor. Any and all are members of the Excellence in Education team. For all of his accomplishments, Joe doesn't seek the limelight. He's willing to lead, and he's also willing to follow a good leader. He is that rare person who plays hard, works hard, shares the glory and the defeat, is optimistic and also realistic, who values a legacy and can envision the future. He knows how to include people, how to listen, and how to act. Joe was a football coach and is a life coach, modeling a good life well lived for his family, friends, and the entire community. Joe Ufinger.
Kendall Bragg, student and student success advocate, CMU. Kendall Bragg is a determined young woman from Flint, Michigan, with a passion and willingness to serve others. She is currently a college senior at Central Michigan University, studying kinesiology in preparation to become a physical therapist. As a member of CMU's Physical Therapy Club, she has met other like-minded students interested in strengthening connections within the medical community through professional interactions with physical therapists and graduate school faculty. Attending Central Michigan as a multicultural advancement scholar, Kendall has become knowledgeable in what it means to understand and educate others about cultural diversity. She is also a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Kappa chapter. Within this organization, Kendall exemplifies leadership on Central Michigan's campus by volunteering at the Laurels of Mount Pleasant Nursing Home, fundraising for the March of Dimes initiative, and hosting informative events regarding current topics and social injustices within the community. For the past 3 summers, Kendall has dedicated her time into giving back to the community that contributed to her success. During the month of June, she serves as a Central Michigan University academic orientation mentor. Within this position, she assists incoming students and supports family members in understanding the university environment by collaborating with faculty to demonstrate the core values of what CMU represents. Following orientation season, Kendall participates in the Impact program as a mentor on Central Michigan campus. In this role, she educates multicultural students on what it means to promote diversity and inclusion on Central Michigan's campus. Kendall also provides motivation, guidance, resources, and support to incoming freshmen and transfer students navigating through college. Overall, Kendall is such a selfless person who thrives in settings that allow her to help those around her. Kendall has demonstrated the qualities needed to be an asset to what we need as a society, willing to embrace the diversity of the communities we are committed to serve and grow as one. Kendall takes her homegrown Flint values and expands the reach of our community. Kendall Bragg.
Linda Tracy Stevens is the director of the Children's Miracle Network Hurley Foundation. Linda has been committed to the CMN programs at Hurley since 1997. She began her involvement through the annual CMN Telethon, where she was responsible for developing the 2-day program script featuring inspiring stories of Hurley kids. Her skills and commitment to building relationships with the children and their families led to her becoming the director of the CMN for the Hurley Foundation beginning in 2006. While this role focuses on raising funds for Hurley Children's Hospital, Linda does so much more than that. Her commitment to the children is evident in her leadership, positivity, and humility. One of Linda's best qualities is her sensitivity and empathy. She is successful because she makes everyone around her feel valued and important. Linda has changed the lives of the ladies who nominated her through her great faith and words of encouragement to step out, start volunteering, and fundraising for Hurley CMN and all the kids. Linda's creativity and encouragement inspired them to have a bake sale for the kids. They were able to bake several thousand cookies with the help of many volunteers and raised thousands of dollars in cookie sales over several years. This simple bake sale, encouraged by Linda, helped spread awareness for CMN with families, friends, and neighbors. Linda just says yes. She just says go, especially when it comes to helping children in need. It's this kind of attitude that makes Linda not only successful, but loved and respected. Linda always says that working for CMN hospitals feels less of a job and more of a passion, and it shows. Her kindness shines through in everything she does. Linda has always had a remarkable ability to make each and every CMN child she encountered feel like a rock star, a true celebrity. But even more important, she made it her mission to make each child and their family feel seen, loved, and valued. She is a fierce advocate for the gift of hope that these immensely special children offer the world, and a true believer in the miracles that each of their lives represent. With Linda, there has never been any question that it really is all about the kids. She truly is the embodiment of selflessness, empathy, and compassion. Linda Tracy Stevens.
Rebecca Fedewa, Executive Director for the Flint Watershed Coalition. If you've met Rebecca, she has introduced you to Flint's hidden gem, the Flint River. She leads the Flint Watershed Coalition with a commitment to education, civic engagement, and a passion for the environment. Her spirited leadership and knowledge continues to keep Flint River in a positive light for residents, community stakeholders, and our state's leadership. For over 20 years, Rebecca has served her community. Her kindness, compassion, and creativity have helped develop volunteer programs and community events such as 80s in the Hole, Flotilla, Boats, Bikes, and Bricks, and Fish the Bricks. Residents and visitors can enjoy trails, kayaking, and fishing due to her collaborations with community leaders. In a time of crisis, Rebecca went above and beyond to not only empathize with those most affected, but to test and educate the world with her hashtag movement, It's Not the River. New media outlets over and over describe the Flint River as toxic, highly caustic, industrial sewage, and dangerous. While the Flint Watershed Coalition was appalled by the condition of the city's drinking water, Rebecca and her team worked tirelessly to educate and eradicate those misbeliefs. Her stellar relationship with Congressman Dan Kildee continues to show the out-of-state in the nation that the Flint River is a vibrant ecosystem that supports a growing population of species, such as eagles and ospreys who live along and hunt in the Flint River. Rebecca continues to be transparent with the latest test results and her efforts to educate on the conditions of the river. Her tremendous efforts to change the narrative around the Flint River led to the incredible standing as a national water trail status. Rebecca is humble and would never take full credit for the new standing of the Flint River, but without her efforts, their new status would not be possible. Thank you, Rebecca. Now the entire nation will recognize our river as a natural resource. The list of collaboration Rebecca takes to build and create is too long for this nomination. She has connected with federal, state, and local agencies. She continues to look for ways to build the community. Rebecca is a beacon of kindness and a friend to all. I know I am a better person because of knowing her. Rebecca Fedewa.
Shirley Cochran is the founder and former executive director of Motherly Intercession. Shirley's vision began as a grassroots organization in 1999 when she and 6 community members organized a service project in the Genesee County Jail for children whose incarcerated mothers would not be home with them for Christmas. Since then, this work has been a labor of love for Shirley, serving as the executive director for 20 years and without monetary compensation for her efforts during the first 10. The program model is unique, innovative, and takes a very comprehensive approach to responding to the needs of this very special group of children, their incarcerated parents, and their caregivers. Motherly intercession empowers children and fosters a stronger community by interrupting the cycle of intergenerational incarceration. Motherly intercession's goal is for children of incarcerated parents to realize their parents' destiny does not have to be theirs, and that they can chart a successful path for themselves. Shirley is responsible for the creation of Reading and Counting to Success, an innovative tutoring after-school program. The program's focus is to improve academic performance, increase graduation rates, decrease dropout rates, and encourage enrollment in post-secondary education. Shirley has also instituted the following programs for the children: 3 to 5 School Readiness Program, In Touch Ready to Work, Job and Life Skills Training, and Strengthening Incarcerated Families Resiliency Support Group. She introduced these programs in the Genesee County Jail for moms: Bonding from a Distance, Children's Visitation Program, Parenting While Incarcerated, and Mom to Mom, and Healthcare Coverage Awareness and Referrals. Shirley is a non-stop person. Her spirit, honesty, compassion, integrity, and love for the kids and their families inspire community members to volunteer and make a difference too. Shirley Cochran.
Dr. Bobby McCumilla, Michigan State Medical Society and local physician. Dr. McCumilla grew up in the Flint area and attended Holy Family School in Grand Blanc and then Powers Catholic in Flint. He was then accepted into a combined pre-med medical school program at the University of Michigan. After 7 years in Ann Arbor, Dr. McCumilla completed his ENT residency in 5 years at Loyola University Medical Center in Chicago. In his spare time, Dr. McCumilla is very involved in various medical and community activities. He is the past president and still serves on the board of the Genesee County Medical Society. He is the president of the Michigan State Medical Society, and he is the chair-elect of the American Medical Association. Dr. McCumilla also devotes his time to Flint's downtown revitalization efforts. He is a past chairman of the board of the Community Foundation of Greater Flint and served on the board of the Crim Fitness Foundation. In addition, he was chairman of the Foundation for Flint Kids Learn, and is involved with several downtown businesses. Dr. Bobby once shared that his hopes and humanitarian impulses are instigated and can be illustrated by this scenario. If we create a community that inspires his 2 college kids to strongly consider the Flint area as the place to embark on their careers and start families, then my hopes will be realized. The world is a big place, and my son's generation, like generations past, will have opportunities all over the globe. If they are torn between some other place in Flint, not because of family ties, but because of the opportunities to make a difference, then we've succeeded. Dr. McCumilla is a part of the effort to revitalize downtown Flint. He is a part owner of many restaurants located downtown. Dr. Bobby has been a strong advocate in combating opioid addiction through his involvement with the AMA, MSMS, and the Genesee County Medical Society. With all of that on his plate, he still finds time to mentor high school students to help them prepare for their ACTs. Dr. Bobby is such a compassionate and caring person and a big cheerleader for Flint. Dr. Bobby McCumilla.
Tasia Birbusi is the owner and director of Circle of Friends Daycare. Circle of Friends serves emotional, autistic, and addicted children placed by the Department of Health and Human Services. No child is too much trouble or too much work. For example, a foster family brought 2 of their children who were born addicted to the daycare. These babies never stopped crying. Tasia was not deterred by this very difficult situation. She and her staff simply took 1-hour shifts, holding these children to comfort them and ease their pain. During this past summer, when school districts were sending lunches and fresh fruits and vegetables to the daycare, Tasia would send fruit and produce home with the parents who were no longer working and searching for new jobs. She also gave the extra fresh produce to the neighbors when she found some were afraid to go out shopping for themselves. One of her neighbors has cancer, so she continues to buy fruits and vegetables for him. Tasia has found food banks and food giveaways for her staff and the parents of her daycare children. She has found painting, gardening, and cleaning jobs for the unemployed parents as well. Tasia encouraged a staff member who worked part-time at the daycare and at Walmart to apply for a full-time position at Walmart. She did and received the position, got a promotion, and a 40-hour work week. Tasia has taken children home and cared for them on weekends so parents can work extra hours or keep their employment. Tasia has even kept children overnight so parents can work. Tasia loves her kids and her community and is dedicated to the success of both. Tasia Beer Busey. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a resounding round of applause for the 2021 Sybyl Award nominees, winners all.
Wow, I told you we had some amazing nominees and I wasn't kidding. I hope you had your tissue box close at hand. We were sure dropping a few tears as we listened to those just beautiful stories. And just imagine our world if we were full with all these types of people everywhere and there would be no problem. It's just an honor to be here tonight amongst all of these amazing people that have done more than we could ever imagine. Now it's my job to announce a very special award, the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm sure you would agree that any one of these nominees would be worthy of such an award. But this year, the award is going to an individual that let her faith guide her, her growing up, knowing what service meant to others, and giving everyone everything she had right up until the last day. Truly a lifetime achievement. And here to accept that award is Rosaline. Our Lifetime Achievement Award is going to Danielle Brown.
Thank you. Thank you. She did. She cared so desperately. Thank you. I thank her for being in the lives of others. Thank you. It's hard to talk. Thank you.
Sally Shaheen Joseph, the 2019 Sybyl Award recipient, will announce the 2020-21 recipient via video.
Good evening. My name is Sally Shaheen Joseph. I am the winner of last year's Sybyl Award, and it's my honor this evening to congratulate Ms. Shirley Cochran and Dr. Bobby McCummela for their contributions to this county and the people in it. Ms. Cochran, establishment of the Motherly Intercession Program, which deals with the children of incarcerated mothers, has contributed so much to enrich the lives of these children. And Dr. McCummela, investment in Genesee County and the city of Flint particularly, is beyond measure. Both of them are amazing people, and I'm so proud to be here to recommend them this evening.
If you don't mind, Dr. Bobby, can we let ladies go first and have Shirley talk?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you. Shirley?
Shirley, you need to unmute, sweetie. I was hoping Dr. Bobby would go first. Those of you who know me know that I'm going to tear up every time someone acknowledges my work. It's just what I do. But it's from the heart, and I just want to thank you so much for this because it's special. Sybyl, Motherly Intercession is a product of Sybyl Atwood and Delway here. I knew nothing about starting a nonprofit. It wasn't my background. But it's work that I thought God gave me to do, and I set out to start it. And the first 5 people I talked to said, you need to talk to Sybyl Atwood. And I'd never met her. So I decided one day I was going to look this Sybyl Atwood up. And you talk about making a difference in my life and my success, because the organization that I started will celebrate 21 years this November. After I met Sybyl, Dale came on board and she introduced me to him. And I sat at their feet. They had books that was donated to them. So needless to say, some of the books were very much outdated. But I read every one of them. I'd call Dale whenever I felt the need. It didn't matter how busy he was or how busy Sybyl was. They were always there for me. So this means an awful lot to me. When she was sick, her doctor had suggested she eat frozen beans and peas, and she was having a problem finding them. I went out on a mission to get them to her because Sybyl needed it and we were going to have it for her. So this, I could talk the rest of the evening. I just want to say thank you. I never, wow, thank you. I'm so honored.
Thank you, Shirley. We appreciate you and your legacy that you've left for us here in Flint. Dr. Bobby, take it away.
Thanks, Jordan. I can't say it better than Shirley, but it's an honor to receive this alongside Shirley. It's one of my life's regrets, and I realize it now after participating and watching this ceremony in the years past, that I didn't get a chance to cross paths with Sybyl Atwood, as I'm sure that I would have been inspired by her, as so many people here today that have spoken have been. Moments like this reinvigorate me to continue down the path of service. All of the nominees, it is such an honor to be on this list. They're amazing human beings, and I'm humbled to be on any list that includes them. There's so many opportunities to express our own individual desire to help others in the greater Flint community. And I am forever grateful to grow up in this community, to work in this community, to play in this community, and to serve in this community. So thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. I want to say thanks for everyone who tuned in and watching it tonight. And congratulations to our 2 recipients of the Sybyl Award, Shirley Cochran and Bobby McCumla, and to the family of Danielle Brown, who I knew well. Thank you for sharing her with this community. And congratulations on her Lifetime Achievement Honor tonight. I want to say thank you to the Hurley Foundation for agreeing to take on the Sybyl Award. You know, the committee had been working on this for a decade, and we thought it might be time to close the books on it and move on to something else. But 2 years ago, Jordan Brown was in the audience and came up to me afterwards and said, we got to figure out how to keep this moving. And so tonight is actually the 2nd anniversary of the end of the Sybyl Awards. In a weird way. But thank you, Jordan, and thank you, Hurley, for being the presenting sponsor in perpetuity now, I believe. I also want to thank my friend Karen Church and Elga Credit Union for being with this show and this award ceremony for 12 years now as the title sponsor. And, you know, Karen has a heart for service, and that showed in her welcome remarks tonight. And I think she was maybe concerned that we wouldn't feel the magic in this format, but I'm sitting here crying. You know, good thing no one's around, but you all, hundreds of people are looking at me. But thank you to Karen and Elga for their ongoing commitment to the Sybyl Award. And then, believe it or not, we actually had a dinner sponsored tonight. I'm not sure where the dinner was, but Kettering University served as our dinner sponsor. So next year, or when you see someone from Kettering, maybe Jack Stock, tell him thanks for dinner. Maybe he'll take you out to Redwood or something. I also want to thank, and I can't forget, our broadcast sponsor, Mott Community College. The program attendees are on via Zoom, so we're live. And through the benefit of Mott's Technology Media Services Department, especially a gentleman named Brian Williams, who you can't see, but believe me, he is here with us in the studio, as it were. And then everyone else is on YouTube, and we appreciate Mott serving in that role for this ceremony. And then I want to thank, as Jordan did, the Sybyl Award Committee. Many of these folks have been part of this group since 2008, and they're steadfast and will continue to serve in the future. And then lastly, I want to thank the people who nominated our nominees. This sounds self-evident, I suppose, but we wouldn't have nominees if we didn't have nominators. And I can tell you, I think I know just about every nominator, and I know that they are just as busy as our nominees are in terms of their community involvement. So it's sometimes difficult to take time out from your work or your family or professional kinds of things, but we had those individuals who did take the time and nominated people. So if you've never nominated someone, think about doing it for the next Sybyl Award. And we are going to finish tonight as we began. We are going to see some images of this award's namesake, but we're also going to have the special treat of hearing Sybyl's voice. She was recorded in a series of interviews by the Flint Journal in the last year of her life, talking about her legacy and her view of the future of Flint and what she wanted for this community. And so we have some snippets of those conversations along with some images of Sybyl. So with that, I will say good night, but please stay on to watch this short video. Thanks very much for attending tonight.
I started on February 14, 1966. Good morning, this is Sybyl. Nothing else. I hope that I have modeled the behavior of follow through for the person that you're working with, no matter in what context. Follow through and get them what they need or want, or find out for them. And I hope that that's what I've done. I'm proudest of hearing the feedback from people who have gained something from their contact with me. Stay insatiably curious.
Thank you everyone for attending tonight. And on behalf of the Hurley Foundation, the Sybyl Committee, and all of our sponsors, thank you. And I hope that everyone walks away tonight remaining insatiably curious. Good night.